What's up, y'all? You already know what today's topic is going to be. We're going to be covering the second issue of Absolute Batman, since y'all seem to like the last one so much. Because besides shorts, that's been my most viewed video this whole year. So, no more time wasted, let's get right into it. We open up on a flashback of the zoo again. And if there's any doubts on whether Thomas Wayne might have lived, they've definitely been put to rest with this panel. And I would have hated to be Bruce in this moment. Because imagine your dad gets killed, and like 2 minutes later, you're getting jumped by bats. We then shift over to the present, where we see Batman giving hands to some more of the party animals, with some commentary from Alfred letting us know what's been going on the past 2 weeks. Basically, Batman and the party animals have been one-up each other. Whenever the party animals start to put in more effort, Batman puts in 5 times more. He's only one guy though, and since they're a gang, he focuses on their biggest attacks in order to send a message, I'd assume. And by the way, I don't even know why you decide to fight a guy after seeing this happen to your homeboy. He's gonna need that Kanye surgery for his jaw. But since Black Mask has been upping his game, Alfred's been able to collect more data on him. So he's decided to help Batman out in order to finish the mission as quickly as possible. But even though he's decided to help out Batman, he still feels the need to hate on this man, saying that Batman needs to learn how to retreat and regroup instead of constantly advancing forwards, which are terms he learned during his time with the Special Forces. And I guess Alfred isn't the smartest tool in the shed, because he forgot who he was talking about. Since every time he thinks Batman's about to retreat, Batman steps up his game, as we can see in this panel, where, well, yes, I already counted this, 13 party animals push him up against this aquarium glass, and right as we think he's done for, he shatters a hole in the glass, causing everyone to get pushed over by the water, and then jumps to the roof of the building and drops in some concentrated vinegar into the water, which turns it into acid, causing the party animals to retreat outside, where the cops are waiting for them. We then get more insight from Alfred on how Batman is able to move through the city, and that's through the use of his cave system, where he uses multiple caves as stash houses instead of having one big bat cave. But it's still Batman we're talking about, so he still needs a sort of way to incorporate bats into everything, as we can see once we're shown his cave roots. And yep, they make the image of a bat. And just in case you thought Alfred changed during those 2 weeks, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're wrong, because he's still spending his time stalking Bruce during the day as well, who on the other hand has changed, now staying away from his mother and visiting his father's murderer once a week. Besides that, Alfred's bosses have been telling him that the Batman needs to stop helping Alfred. Besides that, Alfred's bosses have been telling him that he needs to stop helping Batman, and although he's hesitant at first, Alfred ultimately follows his boss's orders and removes the protections that he's placed on Batman. And in doing so, somehow the party animals find his hideout in the skyrise and barge in, ready to kill him. But Batman always is one step ahead and blows up the top of the building, giving us this tough panel. And if you didn't know what that AF meant, advance forward, in this context, I'd imagine it'd be 100 times cooler. We then shift over to the hospital, where we see Mayor Gordon is recovering after the attack on City Hall, where Harvey Bullock is saying that Batman has to be dealt with since his attacks on the party animals have been causing them to attack harder, which in turn is going to endanger more citizens. But arguing against him is Gordon's daughter, Barbara, who argues Batman is needed to protect the city, but the two of them are interrupted by Martha Wayne, Bruce's mom, entering the room to check on Jim, where the two of them talk about Bruce and how he hasn't been the same since the day he came back from the zoo. And we also find out from this flashback when Gordon found Bruce being swarmed by the bats from the start of the issue. Speaking of flashbacks, we then get another flashback to when Bruce was still a child, and his mom is telling him his friends are waiting for him outside. Bruce responds letting his mother know that she's telling him to go away, and when she tries to talk to him again, he yells at her, telling her to leave him alone before throwing his first place medal out the window, the same one that won him his trip to the zoo. We then come to the present, where Bruce is meeting up with his friends, Oswald, Edward, Harvey, and Waylon, or as you probably know them, Penguin, Riddler, Two-Face, and Killer Croc. And alright, there's a bunch of text in this section, so I'm gonna try and sum it up as quickly as possible while giving you guys the same information. Basically, they're playing a game of, I think, blackjack or poker. I don't know, I'm not much of a gambling man. But when they're laying their bets down, Bruce bets a party animal mask, which they're all shocked to see. Like when you're trading Pokemon cards and that one friend pulls out a Yu-Gi-Oh! They tell him that he shouldn't have had it there, but he tells them that there's some sort of geological data in the mask. If you can track where it came from, then you can track where the party animals would attack next. But since he isn't smart enough, he asks Eddie to help him out. They then proceed with their game when we're also given some more foreshadowing, with Harvey mentioning Joker's not being welcome. Moving on, after the game's finished, we see Bruce suited up, getting ready to enter some sort of building. His reason for doing so? Well, during his game with his pals, Harvey told him that former Mayor Hill has been moving pretty shady by buying a lot of capital because of something he refers to as his golden chest. That being said, Batman sneaks into the building through the halls until he comes across Hill's computer, where he is looking for any information on this golden chest, which is when he finds a folder named Arc M. And I guess a golden chest can also be referred to as an arc, because that seems to work for him. But before he can do anything, he's interrupted by Black Mask, who appears on the screen in front of him. Black Mask tells Batman that he's fond of him and wants to make a deal with him. But in order to prove himself worthy of this deal, Black Mask tipped off all of GCPD and has his own men surrounding the building, meaning if Batman did want to accept this deal, he'd have to survive this ordeal. As you can see, I'm kind of a poet. Batman proceeds to waste no time in escaping by jumping down the elevator shaft into what at first I thought was the elevator before being confronted by Alfred, who wants to speak with Batman, but gets instantly shut down. But as we all know, Alfred isn't known for giving up easily, and tells Batman that he has some information on the party animals that makes Alfred believe that him and Batman can help each other out. Batman tells him he has 30 seconds to explain, which Alfred is relieved to hear, and says that they first need to get out of there, suggesting using his car as a means of getting away, but asks Batman if he has a car instead. And with one cold line, Batman lets Alfred know he indeed does have a car, over showing this universe's not even Batmobile, but Bat Tank, honestly. And I mean, this thing is massive. Before the chapter ends though, we go back to the past, where we see Bruce alone in his room before Selina Kyle, otherwise known as Catwoman, makes herself known, telling Bruce to get up and come with her while wearing the wet metal he threw out the window. And with that, issue 2 ends. So for the review, I'm gonna give it like a 7 out of 10. Not that I didn't enjoy it, this could be more of a bias thing, but I personally like when an issue is packed with either action or emotion. And if it has both, that's even better. However, this comic didn't really have a lot of either. Aside from the start of the book, and I guess if you want to count the Batmobile scene, the story was still really good and enjoyed being introduced to the rest of Bruce's friends, and it overall fits in really well with where issue 1 left off, but it just wasn't as cool as that one. But 7 out of 10 isn't too bad though, in my opinion. So yeah, that's it. And I guess we'll have to wait for issue 3 to come out to see where the story goes. But I do have more videos planned until that happens, so subscribe if you don't want to miss those ones. And yeah, thank you all for watching. This has been Super TZ23 signing out. Peace.